everyone, welcome back for another episode of a BCD Moment, and I'm Renee Twiddle. So, the next episode we're talking about in Behind Closed Doors Season 7 is Episode 6. There's a lot to talk about, so I'm just going to get right into it. So, Jody is at the door, and Andrew comes out of the bathroom and he says, "Mom, is that you?" towards Jody. And I'm at the computer and I'm like, "What?" Jody introduces herself to me, and she says that she had 5 kids with my father, Joe. Jody tells me about my siblings. I have Simon with blue and black hair, Blake, who just looks just like Andrew and Brian, that's 4, and then one sister, Jade, and she looks just like Chrissy, who is mothered by a different woman, and is actually Olivia. So that means there is 7 of us total, I think. Not sure. Anyway, Jody says, unfortunately, Andrew's the only one still left alive. And I ask how they die, and my grandma's like, "Renee, that is rude." And Jody said it's okay. And she says that Simon was killed by my uncle Sykes, who was a janitor. Blake was killed by my mother from drunk driving. Brian committed suicide. Andrew's still alive. And as for Jade, she got killed in a car accident, the same car accident that killed Dr. Cox and her husband, who Dr. Cox is actually the doctor of Roxy, but they were killed in the car accident. And that's why Cassandra became Roxy's temporary caseworker. Then I ask Jody why her last name is different from Andrew's and all my siblings. And she changed her name from Twist to Jenkins because to protect herself from Claudia, my mother, so Claudia wouldn't find her and kill her. Then Jody gets a phone call, and she leaves the room to go into the bedroom, and she answers the phone call, and it's Joe, my dad. And he says to her that he has something to tell her that's important, and she says, "Come on over to Myrtle's, I'm right here." And Joe said, "Oh, okay." And Jody's like, "It's because Claudia's dead, and I don't have to hide anymore." Jody also said that she had suspicions that my mother was still alive, that's why she was visiting the grave. But Jody said, "Well, she's dead, I know it." Jody comes back from the bedroom and says that Joe is stopping by. I get really excited and I go in the bathroom to just touch up myself because I want to look nice for my dad. The part that's holding the curtain up to the wall, because in my bathroom, I have a shower curtain that looks like a window. Like it has like the curtains pulled to the side. Well, the one that's closest to the toilet comes undone and it just opens. It just has the curtain like this and then it comes undone. That comes down and I look over and I'm like, that's weird. So I go over to try to go fix it. Then the curtain opens and I'm like, holy shit. And I look and it's Carrie. Carrie says she's sort of a guardian angel for me. And I also ask that, is there any other ghosts? And Carrie said yes, her sister Michelle, but she just left. She resolved her issues. Then there was one other one, Tanya, who was a confused ghost. Didn't know she was a ghost, but she had no meaning to stay around because her sister Tabitha was dead. Claudia's dead. Roxy faked her death, and at the time everyone thought she was dead. Chelsea Seba, who was posing as Cassandra, was dead. So all the people that Tanya and Tabitha were trying to stop were dead. So there was no reason for Tanya to stay around, so she wrote a note to my father saying goodbye, and she left, and she wasn't seen ever since because she vanished. She had no other reason to stay. She had all of her issues resolved. And then I look over in the mirror, and I'm just fixing my hair, and I say that Tanya's annoying, and especially when she pushed Veronica in the pool. And I think it's so funny that we constantly point that out in the show. It's like a running joke with the creator and his co-creator. It was hilarious, when it happened, and then it just keeps getting brought up into the show. And technically, that happened like 5 or 6 years ago. So, but in the show, is it that long? I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think it was 5 or 6 years ago. No, it was Maybe it was like 5 years ago in the show. So it's a long time for someone to hold. Anyway, I look over and Carrie's gone. And then I'm like, oh, I guess I gotta get used to that because she's a ghost and she can just disappear whenever she wants. Then there's a knock at the door at my apartment, and it is my dad. And that is the end of episode 6. And I wore the same outfit in this episode, so I'm not going to mention it again in detail. So that is it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next episode.